I think when you have goals and when you have a life that you want to make happen, part one is writing it down, but part two is saying it over and over and over and over again. I can't tell you who you're saying it to. I can't tell you who you should say it to. But for me, I'm just realizing this. I've been saying it to my therapist.
Hey you, welcome to Shades of Content, a show that teaches entrepreneurs how to effectively use content to market their business and stay content while doing it. I'm your host, Patrice, a wife, a mom of 3, and a 15-year public relations and marketing professional who decided to open a brick and mortar content studio 4 years ago. And I honestly haven't looked back since. Join me as I share my experiences and the experiences of other entrepreneurs who, like me, are navigating this maze of owning a business, running a family, and trying to stay sane and healthy while doing it. I'll tell you, it's an amazingly challenging journey, but I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. See you soon.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Shades of Content. It's our 75th episode. Yay! I am so excited, so thankful. I feel like I say this before every episode, but obviously when you reach a milestone like 75 episodes, it feels really good. And like I've said to you guys before, consistency has not always been your girl's thing, but this is something that I'm so passionate about, and I'm just really thankful that I made it to 75. So clap it up for me. Give me a clap too if you're listening or if you're watching this. This is Shades of Content, the show that teaches Black millennial mompreneurs niche down how to use content to market their business, but also how to seek, find, stay content along that journey. Contentment is something that I have really locked into this year. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but I think that we can have this place of peaceful satisfaction in any part of life, right? Because once we understand that life is gonna have those ups and downs, and we're gonna feel crappy sometimes, we're gonna feel great sometimes, then we can just flow through life a little easier. You guys also see that I am recording in my house. I have my calendar here. I have my 4-week, 8-week situation happening behind me. And that is important for a few reasons, because for me, contentment means being able to do what you need to do without being stressed. And sometimes when you have to rush and move and make things happen, it can be stressful, especially when you have to depend on other people. So I went ahead and I already had my camera, but I invested in a mic, I invested in a quality tripod, and I am recording this on my own in my house. I'm also gonna edit it, probably 85% of it myself, because I taught myself how to use iMovie last week. It's something that I enjoy doing. Now, if it was something that I hated and it took me like forever and ever, I wouldn't do it. But also being content is doing the things you love, recognizing the things you love, and pushing aside the things you don't love, because those things make you feel antsy. What I'm doing right now does not make me feel antsy. I'm so happy. And I think it's actually pretty full circle that I am recording this 75th episode right in my home. You know, my goal for life is to be able to do every single thing I need to do from anywhere in the world. And I do feel like I'm getting to that point. So you know that I'm going to ask you right away to make sure you rate and review this podcast. And what I'm gonna do is pull up one of our reviews. I probably should have had this. All right, so we are gonna keep the reviews coming. Not sure if I read one last week. I don't think I did, but I'm going to read one this week. And this review is from Jay Styles. And he says, "What an inspiring show. Patrice is down to earth, relatable, and such an inspiration. I love the context the show puts on content and content creation, and it's a must listen for anyone that's on their entrepreneurial journey." So thank you, Jay Styles, for sending in that review. I'm asking of you to rate and review this show, because as I've said before, that's how people like me continue to grow. And not just like from a monetary standpoint or stat standpoint. I can't make the show the best it can be if I don't know what you guys like. So please rate 5 stars if you're feeling like it. Leave a review and tell me how you honestly feel. Also, in the spirit of getting feedback, I created, there's a Shades of Content listener survey. And so if you look in the show notes, you'll see a gift for you. You click on that link, you do the quick 2-3 minute survey, and I have a beautiful gift for you at the end of it. So please take some time. Again, it doesn't take long. Not asking really personal questions. Nothing is self-identifying, like I know it's you. Just your basic demographic questions and kind of how you found down the show, what you liked about the show, what I can do better, those kind of things. So please click that A Gift for You in the show notes so that you can tell me really honestly what you think about the show, and so that you can get a special gift. Like, it's free. It's something that you can use and hopefully will make your day better. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, and this is not gonna be a long episode. You know, when I'm doing my solo episodes, I like to get in and get out, because in my opinion, there's nothing worse than hearing somebody ramble on and on and on, and I don't want to do that. So we've hit 75 episodes. We also, I should say, hit our 100th episode on my birthday, and I'm gonna show you guys. My birthday is on December 9. Okay, where's my finger? And that also just happens to be our 100th episode, right? So I mapped out all the show's episodes at the end of 2021, and I mapped it out, and I think I mentioned this on one of the past episodes. I mapped it out. I left a few breaks in there of weekends that I wouldn't have shows, and no bull. As I was mapping it out, the Friday, the 100th episode happened on my birthday. Crazy. That right there is proof that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Things just don't work out like this if it ain't supposed to be. And that's one thing I've just kind of been embracing along this process of having the show and being an entrepreneur. It's just letting things flow. If it takes too much to connect with someone, you probably shouldn't be connecting with them at that time. If you can't find the vendor to get something done, then that means it ain't time to do it. So, you know, when I'm trying to interview people for the show, if it don't work, the time it don't work, it's cool. We're going to pause it and we're going to come back to it when and if it makes sense. So in the spirit of hitting this 75th episode, and you know, a lot of my podcasters that I listen to are at episode 200, episode 400. So sometimes hitting a milestone like 75, knowing that you have so much further to go, can be maybe daunting, maybe a little like, oh, I'm not doing enough. But I don't feel like that, y'all. I feel so happy that I made it here. It's been 2 years and 3 months, and I see so many amazing things for this show. All right, so because I've been talking for 8 minutes already. I want to kind of give you a 6-month 2022 check-in. Y'all know I love to check in with you. So, because I'm about accountability. Am I doing what I said I was going to do? May not happen when I say I'm going to do it, but at some point I always feel like it comes back around. The things that God puts on my heart, they always happen, because what he says is what I should be doing anyway. Okay, so let's check in. My 2022 goals, one of them was to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Currently, right now, on June 8th, 2022, I'm at 408 episodes. Now, I, for the most part, have been releasing Shades of Content episodes every week. I skipped 1 week. Audio, right? Now, I can't say that I was doing every week on the podcast or on the YouTube channel, but even if I didn't do a full episode or a full like 30-minute hour block on YouTube, I always uploaded a video short or some type of snippet. So I've been keeping the content really, really consistent. I also have just launched, like this week, a vlog series on the YouTube page. So if you click the link in the show notes, you're going to be able to see vlogs as well. I've only uploaded one. My plan is to release Shades of Content episodes on Fridays, vlog episodes on Tuesdays. And why am I doing these vlogs? So when you go to the Shades of Content YouTube page, you see all these great interviews where I'm typically like talking about business, or I'm interviewing someone about what they got going on, but you're not really seeing that much of me. And so I feel like having these vlog episodes will just give you just more insight on means for me, what a content life means for me. If you go on there now, the first episode is like a recap of my trip to Atlanta for the Black Pod Festival. So it's some fun, it's some work, it's some travel, and those are all the things that make me who I am. My kids are in there a little bit. And I just think that it's important as a 38-year-old mom of 3 who owns a business, who is married, who has multi-passions, who loves to work out. I think it's so important to show that you can do all the things and you can love all the things that you do, and you can find those places of peaceful satisfaction and contentment in all of those things. So the vlog will hopefully just give a little more into who I am. You can only show but so much on Instagram. And I'm finding that I actually really, really enjoy directing these documentary type movies. It's not really that hard. I've been really studying a lot of YouTube vloggers as of late. A lot of them aren't really business focus per se, but it's really interesting kind of the tricks, the rules of thumb that I've just learned in the last 30 days. So with hopefully that the vlog aspect will continue to keep people coming to the YouTube page, watching, so that I can hit that 1K subscriber milestone. I'm about 600 away, or 594 away from that goal. So, but I'm moving. I got more than I had last year. Okay, my next goal was to reach, or is to reach 10,000 audio downloads by the end of the year. I'm at 7,718. So I'm more than halfway there on that point, and we're gonna keep it going. More content, more downloads. Also, just incorporating more different types of people into the show so that they're sharing it with their audience. Next up, 3 franchises. So I kind of talked about it a little bit in the replay episode that I had with the GCUC community. Hey there, are you a content mompreneur, or better yet, are you a content mompreneur? What does that mean? That means you're a mom who owns a business and is on a journey to seek contentment in your professional and personal life. If that fits you, because that is definitely me, then you need to get your content mompreneur checklist. Tap the link in the show notes to see exactly where you are in your journey of contentment. It's something that I am just really starting to hone in on and focus on, because the bottom line is we have to be able to find that level of peaceful satisfaction, peaceful happiness through all of our life changes. And I'm on a journey to find that for myself, and I actually want to help you find it too. So tap the link in the show notes to take your content mompreneur checklist, and then shoot me an email or a DM to let me know where you stand in all of that. Here's the rest of the episode. That episode is linked in the show notes, but campus franchising, and there will be a whole nother episode that goes into that. I'm not ready to do all that just yet. Actually, that goal of opening franchises, I didn't share that with you guys initially. I think in that first 2022 goal episode, I just said that I was working on something, and then I mentioned it in the GCUC episode, but now I'm actually saying it. I made a goal for myself to have 3 franchise locations in the works, and basically what that means is I am allowing other people to open their own camp spaces in their respective communities, and they will buy from me all of the intellectual property, all of the software, all the processes, everything that I've built over these last few years. They will purchase that from me so that they can go open their own, and then I will get a percentage of their revenues for as long as they're in business. And it was always a goal of mine to have more camp spaces. I've always had this dream of going to all my favorite cities and being able to go into my own business and do my thing. Always been a dream of mine, even before I had this brick and mortar that I have. But then, you know, when you get into the weeds of owning a brick and mortar and dealing with all the different aspects of it, and if I may say so myself, I do believe I wear business ownership gracefully. Like, I don't make it look hard, because I've built a business that isn't really that hard, if I'm being quite honest. But it does have its level of stress, its level of confusion, its level of, you know, sometimes some sad times where I just be like, yo, I don't want to do this no more. But the fact of the matter is that I love that business, and I know that it can be replicated in different places. I know there's a need for it. So by franchising, I can help other people open their own. I can train them. I can help them make money, because yeah, I want to make the money, but I don't need to make all the money. I want to spread what I've been able to create myself so that other people can do it in a much quicker time frame. If you want to open up a camp franchise studio, it won't take you 4 years to get it right? It only take you about 6 months, because I'm gonna tell you everything you need to do. You're gonna get everything that you need hand delivered. Myself and my team will be directing you through that whole process. So I would like to have 2 to 3 in the works. I do understand that putting this out there on this podcast is like, hopefully the inquiries will start coming in. There is a link in the show notes. If you want to open your own content studio, there's a link where you can fill out an inquiry form. We'll schedule a call, and we will talk through the process and the investment, because it is an investment. But just saying that on this show fully is like, oh shit, this is happening. There will be a whole nother episode on what it looks to be a camp space franchisee, but I'm excited about it. And yeah, you know, this process started in October of 2021, and the paperwork was just finalized. Actually, there's a big document that you need. That big document is done, and now it's just a matter of getting some things notarized and really going along this process. I don't know if you remember, I went to San Diego earlier this year. I was at a franchise conference. My mind was like, holy crap, what am I doing? I actually had a call with my attorney yesterday, and he was saying all these things. And he and I agreed that this is not an easy process, but it's not a bad process. It's a process where I'm being stretched. My mind is being stretched beyond how it's ever been stretched before. And that's a beautiful thing. So yes, we are franchising. If you're interested in opening your own, click that open my own content studio in the show notes. So that's where we are with our 2022 goals. Professionally, I am still working out. I did gain some weight over the last few days because I just been doing my thing, but I'm back heavy in the gym, eating right. Also because I'm prepping for a trip this weekend with my husband to celebrate our birthday, which I will be vlogging. So you guys can see what that trip looks like and just kind of how it all works with all these kids in this house and all the things. So those are the things that I want to make happen in 2022. We're halfway through the year and I'm pressing forward. I probably could add, like, have a brand partnership in there. I am in talks with a few different companies about how we can work together strategically for this podcast. Because as we've talked about, I put up all the money for this. Your girl pays for this. So it would be nice to have a partner that is lessening the financial load because I believe this content is great. The right time, the right partner, it will all align. And I trust that. I'm just going to keep doing my part. All right. Okay. So if you have been following me, you are probably noticing that I'm really leaning into this contentment life. And I remember past episodes where I said that I wanted to step into this space of being a thought leader, an expert, like a content, all of those things. And I never really leaned all the way into it because it didn't feel natural, right? It felt too contrived. It felt too professional. It felt too, I'm trying to sell something. And it wasn't until I had a COO alignment VIP day with Tiffany Lauren Jones, who is amazing, and I will link to her in the show notes because she has really just opened my mind to so many things. I thought I was going to her for her to help me with creating operations manuals and SOPs, but she essentially helped me realize what I want my dream life to be. She also helped me realize that it's a lot closer than I thought it was. And so in talking to her, I realized that creating this content is where I want to be, and stepping out of the day-to-day operations of the studio is what I needed to do. And then that's kind of how we go along this path of selling franchises, eventually selling the Hyattsville location and finding brand partners. Like that VIP day, like I said, really opened my mind to what I want to do and how I want to be aligned. In thinking through that, I realized who my audience was, right? My audience are content mompreneurs or content mompreneurs. I am a content mompreneur. Really, I'm a content mompreneur who uses content to share her story and to make money. And so that came to me just really leaning into this content mompreneur and this journey of finding contentment. So if you go on my Instagram page, you'll see the first sentence, on a journey to find contentment in every phase and every part of life. And I mean that because it gets rough. The shit can stink sometimes. But what in that can you find, can you learn from? So what does leaning into this level of contentment mean for me? Like I said, that content mompreneur brand is, I don't like saying it's a brand, but it's me. You know, I'm a mom, I'm an entrepreneur. I use content to make money, and I do all the things I need to do to stay content in my own life. So y'all are gonna see content mompreneur very, very often. Again, that means leaving those day-to-day operations of the space to someone else. So I'm going to be hiring a studio coordinator finally for my Hyattsville location and my Maryland flagship location. So I will really be taking myself out of that day-to-day because I have to focus on the high-level things that are going to make the big impact in my business. And I also know that I don't like talking to people. Like, that don't make me feel good. I'm not satisfied or feel peace when I got to talk to customers about lighting. I don't want to do that no more. I've done it for 4 years. I can teach that to someone else, and that's what the studio coordinator is going to take over. Leaning into this content mompreneur brand or being, right, also means just owning Patrice. I just got off the phone with my therapist, and he said to me, you know, have you always been like this? Have you always been someone who gets it done and unapologetically moves? And while I've always been someone who's going to make it happen no matter what, I can't say that I've always been someone who was comfortable with myself, maybe how I look. If you know me, that might be like, what, girl, please? But there have been times where I haven't posted something because I didn't like the way like my arm looked or my skin wasn't smooth enough. Just like things that I think we all battle with. or deal with. Sometimes people move through it, sometimes people don't. But in this season of my life, I'm going to give you who I am. And if you love it, great. If you hate it, that's okay too. It's just not for you. And so I use the vlog as an example, right? Because I would go on YouTube and see vloggers and I'd be like, they look stupid. Why are they doing this? They're too old for that. Who are you trying to be? What's the end game? I would literally say that just like a month ago. Mind you, I'm still watching it. So I'm still sitting there looking for and watching it, boom, 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 boom. And then it just dawned on me, actually, I really enjoy this type of content. I enjoy vlogs. And I think, no bull, I actually had the idea to vlog my family during the pandemic. We were going to call it the commotion. And then I just stopped. And I think it was because I was thinking that all the things I thought about those people, I was going to think it about myself. The whole time, I let 2 years pass where I could have been doing it, could have been got subscribers, could have been got watch hours, could have been got views, could have been got brand partnerships. So because I was being so judgy on other people, putting my insecurities on those people, I ended up screwing myself over in the end. And we do that all the time because we don't want to own who we are. We judge other people for doing the things we want to do. And in that judgment, we waste 5 years, 2 years, 17 years, 30 years, 2 months. We just waste time judging other people because they're doing the shit we're afraid to do. I'm not doing that anymore at all, okay? And I'm gonna own me. I'm gonna be okay with how my body looks on screen. That interview with my girls from the Momcation trip, standing up, my little half shirt, lace little number was fire. But sitting down, I look like a Oompa Loompa. And a big part of me was like, don't put this content out, don't put this video out, don't do it. But I did it. Because I'm a woman. It's all good. It's okay. My stomach is natural. I've carried 3 kids. And you're going to get this stomach when I'm sitting down. It is what it is. You also going to get this 6-pack when I stand up and I haven't eaten at 6 in the morning. That's me. And if you like it, like I said, great. If you hate it, that's okay too. I'm just going to do what works for me. And I'm going to talk to my people. And I'm going to talk to my community. Also, being this mompreneur is putting the extra effort into showing up. Sometimes that'll mean being super dressy when I don't need to be. Me and my husband went to an event at my son's school over the weekend and it was a picnic. It was branded as a picnic, but we dressed up. I had my heels on. My husband had his khakis on. Not khakis, it had slacks on. And we looked good. And for like the first 5 minutes, I was like, I didn't need to wear all this. Even my son was like, nobody's dressed up. Like, we can chill. And then I had to rethink that. And I told him, I was like, you don't gotta be what everybody else is. You can show up and show out. It's okay. You want to call me extra, that's fine. That's okay. It doesn't matter to me. But also showing up means putting out the consistent content. Also showing up means not being afraid of what someone might think. Also showing up means putting in that extra effort to make it work. So for me, that was buying the mic so that I make this episode and so that I can vlog over the weekend. So maybe if me and my husband feel like it, I can record a whole episode with my husband while we're on vacation. That's what it means. Those are the things that make me feel content. Creating this content brings that level of contentment, and showing up, knowing I did my part and being okay with doing what it takes to show up brings that contentment with me, because when I don't do that, then I'm mad at myself. I'm not satisfied with myself. I can't sleep easily at night, peacefully at night, because I didn't do my part. And I'm regretting how I looked, or I'm regretting what I said. Just you're living in regret. And when you are regretful, you can't be content. Also, owning means loudly proclaiming what I want to happen in my life. And I've always set goals. The planner that I use allows me to every year do a 3-month, 1 year, 3 year, lifetime set of goals. So at the beginning of every year, I do what I want to happen in 3 months, what I want to happen in 1 year, what I want to happen in 5 years or 3 years, and what I want to happen in my lifetime. So I do that every year. It's a faithful thing, but I would write it down. I would just write it down. I would not verbalize. I think when you have goals and when you have a life that you want to make happen, part 1 is writing it down, but part 2 is saying it over and over and over and over again. I can't tell you who you're saying it to. I can't tell you who you should say it to. But for me, I'm just realizing this. I've been saying it to my therapist. So I got with BetterHelp, and I talked about my therapist on another episode. He's amazing. I'm always talking about living in Florida. I'm always talking about going to Florida to him. And in this last 3 months, I've said that I want to move. In the next 3 years, I want to have a property in Florida. Maybe I'm not there full time, time, but I own the property. I can go there whenever I want. Maybe it's an investment property. I don't know. I see a life that looks a bit different from how my life looks now. I don't think that we will continue this kind of cookie cutter American dream existence. I see myself, like I said, having a home near a beach. I believe that my two babies will be homeschooled. I believe that I will be traveling often with my kids, creating content and teaching people how to run their own businesses. You know, I don't know if I'm still going to be here in the DMV area. I don't think I would say it out loud because I didn't know how it was going to happen. But by putting the right people in place, I see it, right? By putting Tiffany, having that time with her, I see it. Having a conversation with my financial planner, I see it. My therapist, who sees it for me because I talk about it so much in our sessions, I see it. I had a conversation with a friend of mine. Our kids have been best friends for years, and she homeschooled. And I forgot that. And I said to her, I was just talking to her, and she was like, oh yeah, you know, we did homeschooling. And she sent me 2 homeschool communities that I need to look into, right? So I see it. At 40 years old, and it's not that I'm waiting until I turn 40. I turned 39 this year. So next year I'll be 40. It feels good to have things that you're working towards. And the work is a part of the contentment for me also. I'm doing the work. So I ask you, right? As I celebrate 75 episodes of being committed to this show, it's not just a podcast, it's a show. Being committed to this show and showing up for you and doing all the things, I ask, are you doing the same, right? Maybe it's not a podcast, maybe it's not content, maybe it's not a business. But have you showed up consistently for 75 weeks? For 75 episodes, 75 posts? I don't know. But ask yourself that honestly. And I'll be honest, like in the beginning of this show, the first year, even, 2020, 2021, I was like, I'm not feeling this, I'm not feeling this. I kind of lost my motivation. I took like 3 months off, I remember. But I'm back because I had to recalibrate. I had to really hone in on where it is. And that honing in is happening continuously, right? Content Mompreneur didn't exist in January, right? These things are ever evolving, but nothing evolves if you're not also growing with it. And so that has just been like a beautiful thing to see happen in real life. You go back and you look at your notes, you listen to past episodes, which I do sometimes. I see the progression and I'm happy with it. The money will come and I'm excited. So we hit 100 episodes on my birthday, December 9th. I don't know what I'm going to do. If you have ideas for how we should celebrate the 100th episode, please let me know. I also would really like to do like a live episode at some point, record it in the space and just have it be a vibe. Would absolutely love to do that. So I feel like I got my cadence with putting out the content, and now we can be kind of creative with some of the other ways that I engage you guys, my community. As I hit the 75th mark, I want to send so much love and appreciation and thanks to everybody in the team that helps this show come together. So that's Ty Littman, who does a lot of my audio. In the very beginning, it was just me and Ty. I record it, send it to him. He makes it an episode. And even now, he still does a lot of work. The last Momcation episode, he filmed it, he edited it, he did it all. And Ty's gonna be somebody that, God willing, we are working together for a very long time until some multi-million-dollar podcaster brings him along to do their thing, if it ain't me first. So shout out to Ty. I love you, Ty. You're the best. Shout out to Aileen. Aileen is my podcast virtual assistant who was referred to me, not directly, by Jasmine, who is the host of the Built to Quit podcast. Thank you, Jasmine. Aileen has totally lifted the load of what it takes to bring this podcast to you every week. She's the one who brings the show to you every week. She's the one who creates the graphics, creates the show notes, the snippets. She's just amazing. If you need, and she just celebrated, I believe, 1 year of her business too. So if you're looking for a podcast virtual assistant or a show virtual assistant to just help you push out kind of those mundane tasks that can keep you from creating great content, definitely hit her up. She's in the show notes. Thank you to Jabari Jefferson. Thank you to Andre of ABB Video. Thank you to Jamar Hudson. These are insanely talented videographers who work with me to create those full production episodes with all the things. So I love you guys, and I'm able to use who I need to for the different things, and y'all just always come through. And so thank you so much. Thank you for all my Fiverr contractors. I don't know if you'll see this, but you are amazing, whether you're in the States or overseas. Thank you for getting it done. Thank you to all the guests that have been on the show, from my homegirls that I've known since I was in college, to former clients, to people I didn't know from paint on the wall. I don't know how you say that, but thanks for just being your authentic self and committing to bringing your best to the show when we were talking. I really do love interviewing people and asking people questions and like asking questions and getting into their vibe. Like, I enjoy doing that. And my guests make it easier. So thank you. Thank you to you guys for listening to the show, for watching the show, for sharing the show, for posting it on your social media, for leaving a review, for leaving a rating, for just being a part of the community. A month or so ago, I said to myself, why am I doing this? None of this matters. I'm not making money from it. It's not growing fast enough. That was just a moment in time. I don't feel like that, really. I love this. And I know that regardless of where it goes from a number standpoint, like I said, like I always say, my kids will always have great things that they can watch from their mama. When I'm long gone, their kids can tap a link and watch their grandma, their great-grandma, their great-great-grandma. Like, this exists forever, and it's what I created, and it's the real me. You don't have to question who is Patrice, my nigga. This me right here. And y'all gonna hear me say these things over again probably at the 100th episode, because I'm a part of being content is having a grateful heart, and I am grateful for this life that I live. I love my life. I wish I had Ty working on this because I would have him throw that in there, but actually I don't think I can because YouTube be bugging with the the credits and monetization. Anyway, it's always great to come to you with an episode. I'm gonna sign off now and edit this one myself. Hey. Because your girl got talent. Your girl got talent, and I'm learning every day. So until next week, more vlogs are coming. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Follow me on Instagram. All the link in the show notes. Please complete the listener survey. If you click a gift for you in the show notes, it's the first one. You'll have the survey answered really quickly, and then you'll get your amazing gift because I love you. And yeah, if you have ideas, let me know. I know I haven't did a current event convo in a while, but I'll do one next week. What's going on in the news? So much going on in the news. I think I kind of want to keep the energy light because life is heavy, but regardless of how heavy life gets, there's always like a point of conversation and something we can get from it. So we're going to bring a current event back. If you have some ideas, slide in my DM, send it to me. I love you. I love this show. I am going to vlog in Miami, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
All right, now, y'all, don't forget to connect with Shades of Content on Instagram at Shades of Content, and with me, Patrice Camo, at Patrice Camo. And also be sure to rate this show, leave a review, and subscribe, because that's actually the only way that we're going to grow. I'll see you next week.